Let's see if this works. So we'll work with Alex being here for a second. Good morning, everybody. This is Hunter McIntyre coming in live with Coach Mahute Pants.
McHot Pants.
Okay, so if Alex, this is my first time ever doing this, guys, because Ryan has grown up and gotten a real job. How do I share the screen and do you know how to do that kind of stuff? Okay, so present down here. Okay, I gotta be careful I don't do anything stupid.
Just
Paul
don't
Clark
hit
here.
the red and white X button. That's it.
Yeah,
We should be
leave
good
studio.
anywhere else.
Now, how do I
Yeah.
get the lighting going good? This is nice.
Oh,
This is
you had
nice.
it. It's extra. That's a little hot. I would turn it. Yeah, that looks good.
All right, guys,
A
we're
little
gonna run it like this.
All right.
I think we're good. Let's do a half an hour show, dude. First of all, I want to see. Do you see all this bruising and cutting on my shoulder?
No.
Dude, so I was riding my bike. And this was supposed to be an off week, and I decided to get on the mountain bike for the first time in like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I basically took my bike into the ground going 25 miles an hour straight to my shoulder. Separated it. Like, you see all the bruising and stuff bleeding in, like, fucked.
Yeah, you went and got worked on. I see the cupping marks.
Yeah, I got some work done. I've been doing everything under the sun, and I took it hard. At this point, like, it was one of these kind of things where, it's kind of it's my job, but I have to basically start to accept that I'm no longer allowed to ride mountain bikes in season. Probably not allowed to do
factor.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to do any hard workouts. I mean, have you ever taken a big dump on the bike after that scar you got?
Oh, yeah. So last year, before I got rid of my mountain bike, it was time to get rid of it. It was like 15, 16 years old or something. Last year, that's why my swim just tanked in the second half of the year. I couldn't swim at all. So I just show up on race day or try to get in the pool like once in a blue moon. My buddy and I were out doing the same thing, mountain biking, and my back wheel did a little pop. It came up and it dug and it shot me like that. And I went right into the tree. And first thing I did is I started feeling my collarbone to make sure that it wasn't broke. And for like a couple of weeks, that was about as far as I could use my shoulder. I was like, oh shit.
So, I mean, look, you can see me doing everything. I can do it all.
Yeah.
That's hard. I mean,
you can see you kind of stop, not at full extension.
Yeah. So
that's huge.
For me, well, yeah, I don't think it's going to be like any kind of permanence. Like, I don't think it's going to ruin the rest of my season. We're not going to do speed intervals this week, so coach switched everything over to just doing everything on the bike. But I mean, that was a gut check, man. That was the hardest crash I've had since 2015, 2014. Dude, I got
there's
up
something
just
different about
bloody.
You know what's funny is I don't ride road bikes with gloves, but when I go ride mountain bikes, I wear full fingers. And dude, it still doesn't matter. I've jacked up this thumb like 3 different types, 3 different times mountain biking, like landing, and it just wants to keep going the opposite direction. So this one, I still to this day, after like 3 years ago, don't have like full strength in this thumb.
All right, I got some questions I want to ask here. How many people are watching live, and we've got a bunch of you guys, how many of you guys wear gloves when you train or race? I need some votes over here. I know I got Gordon, I got Nicholas, I got Paul, because I'm a glove guy, and I want to know who's wearing gloves. And I mean, dude, I wear gloves when I weight lift a lot of the time, or wear gloves when I weight train a lot of the time. My background comes from when I was logging. These guys had us wearing gloves all the time. He's like, dude, don't fuck up your hands or you're going to fuck up work. He's like, you just put gloves on. It's like not, I don't know what the hell that was, but that didn't sound
I've
good.
got a couple of different gloves, even when I'm just doing the yard, like just basic yard work. I'll wear them just for specific reasons, depending on what I'm doing. Like when my dad and I have to go out to his mom, who just recently passed, when we'd go out to her little 25-acre property where they farm on, and we were going out there clearing a bunch of brush, dude, I brought big old leather.
You got gloves. To, man.
Yeah, and
The
dude,
Bar Talk girls are here.
if it wasn't for those gloves, dude, I would have had a gash straight through my hand. I split those gloves wide open, and I had like, you know, when you see in the movie where the guy's helmet stops him, like Leonidas in 300, and he just gets the little cut through. Basically, the gloves were my helmet. I would have sliced my hand, like filleted it.
Yeah. Dude, I won't fuck around. We got the Bar Talk girls here, and they say they don't wear gloves, but if you understand these girls, they're basically dock workers. They're dirty women. And so, guys, I don't want anything right there. Noel Radigan saying never during training, though. So I will tell you guys this. So I can show you guys a YouTube video. Let's see here.
Ronnie Coleman wore gloves.
Yeah, dude. Let's see here. Let's see if Hunter's actually getting good at figuring out to show you guys what's going on. We're going to go into the videos, and we are going to go to Hunter in Miami. Guys, just give me a second.
Hey, Hunter, here's a good idea for videos. Testing different gloves for high rocks.
All right. I'm going to present, okay? Entire screen, share screen. Let's see here. Entire screen. Tell me if you guys can see this, guys. Here we go. Anybody?
Yeah.
All right, so peep this. You guys seeing the screen?
Yep.
So this is me competing against one of the best kids in CrossFit in the world right now. And we're training, and I have grips on. And I don't do CrossFit anymore, but basically you can see me doing the pull-ups here. And
I watched that video.
My hands, after this is done, let's see if we can find it. Here, I'm going to show it right here. My hands are fucked. And my hands were fucked for the next, I don't know how many weeks, man. But it wrecked my training. And you guys got to understand, like, I am doing skier. How do I stop sharing screen? Fuck. Stop share. Okay, thank God. Basically, oh shit, dude, it's Braylon Tender. He's back. Basically, once you wreck that hand, dude, there's no coming back from it. There really isn't.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, dude. I will tell you guys right now, like my biggest thing, so much so that I'm getting into the glove business. Braylon Tender is here, guys. I just want to make sure everybody knows that this guy basically is the #1 guy in the business when it comes to high performance losers. Braylon Tender is the biggest scammers, and he came from Savant's show. Basically, we are on at the same time as Savant, so we have this kind of like intermingling culture where these guys are coming over from his show to our show, and Braylon Tender is one of these game artists. Yeah. And Aisha, giving a shout out. I am losing weight, guys. I don't know if you guys have been noticing me putting in the work. So much so that I might even ditch Strength X2, but I don't want to do it.
I think it's going to be more of the calorie intake that's going to make that big change. I think because you're restrictive on calories, maybe you should just go to half scoop.
Yeah.
I think you need to keep it.
The thing that I've been doing is I've got 2 books that I've been working on. The 2 things I've been working on is, you ever heard of 𝗫𝗫cy 𝗬𝗏𝗏? 𝗫𝗫cy 𝗬𝗏𝗏 was the coach that basically first got people really ripping the 1500 meter at a super high capacity regularly. And he was based out of Australia. I think he had like Bo, whatever. Like he had the best athletes in the world in the 1500 meter and had all these people coming down to the camps. He was very specific about his diet and very specific about the way that you did a stimulus. And he had the leanest runners and the fittest runners of anybody in the world. So I've been kind of studying his stuff. He only really wants you eating mostly raw things. He doesn't even really like you eating that much meat, to be totally honest. You're not supposed to drink any fluids around the time that you're eating, because basically it just washes out the stomach acid and basically it'd be like me drinking a beer and putting 50% water in it. You're not going to get the buzz. So it makes everything kind of diluted. Yeah. So you have to eat your food isolated from your fluids. You have to eat as much raw food as possible. And I've been slowly starting to do that, and I've been leaning out, and my power is still insane. Like I got 275 bench press for 3 the other day on the same day that I was able to run 5 intervals at under 5-minute pace. And like that's huge. And
Yeah.
strength to weight ratio is through the roof because of it. And then the other thing that I've been studying a ton of is basically these guys, the Tour de France. I bought all of Lance Armstrong's books, some of which I think he had removed off of Amazon because you can't get half of his books anymore.
Yeah, I've got one from back in the day that I bought. I used to have a few more, and I don't know what the hell happened to them. But yeah, there were
Look
some
at
good
this.
ones.
Look at this, dude. Braylon Tender coming in with some sexist comments saying Hunter suffers from lady brain when he restricts his calories. Sexist comments. Yeah, dude. I bought his book War. I've got the science behind the Tour de France, Serious Science. I've got Tyler Hamilton's new book. So much so that I may even get a blood spinner and start pulling out my own blood regularly and finding out if I can get my hematocrit levels up naturally. Have you ever seen anybody do that?
Not personally. I mean, I've heard these guys talk about it, and I've heard them, talk about with the doping that they used to do, and then just how they used to take their samples and then test it again, like after a certain series of training. But I've never been around anybody who's actually done it or know
Yeah,
anybody
so
personally that's done it.
let's try to bring up another video. What's the name? Lionel Sanders?
Yeah.
Sanders, what is he doing?
I love Lionel Sanders just because he never sticks to one thing long enough to really see his adaptations.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is like he's
He's a
super
great
talented.
personality. Yeah, he's a great personality for YouTube and the sport, and he's raw. But I just wish that he would stop changing everything before he really sees a change.
Yeah. Dude, I have a guy coming on the show. I got a guy coming on the show and on Friday who's a big time high roxer, and he reminds me a lot of Lionel. And he and I originally invited him on to just chat about training, but then he sent me like a really heated message about myself. So we're gonna have a pretty good duke out session on Friday.
Oh shit.
And
Okay.
I want to just I'm gonna take the gloves off for a second and see what we can get out of this thing.
Are
But I
your
wanted
hands
to
better?
are my hands better?
Yeah. Like you said, you're taking the gloves off, so just making sure they're ready.
That's gonna be nasty. What I wanted to see, like, if you look at these guys, they're doing a lot of lactate testing. So let's see here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna do this. I'm going to do share screen again. Guys, I'm getting better at this and I want to give you guys the best experience, but let's watch this for a second. Now we're back up on screen. This is an episode saying what the fuck is blood lactate testing.
Oh, GTN.
Let's see if we can find the video of them actually doing it. So they're doing, do you see that right there? These guys are running. They do a little poke. They get this, and then they're trying to basically test the amount of lactic acid that's pumping through your system
Yeah.
as you're doing intensity. And the reason why they do that is they want to hit, I think, 4 millimoles. Say right there. That's like the magic number. If you guys see this, right? We're going to find it again. If they can hit the 4 millimoles, is like that's 1.6. That's the data of like basically the ratio of lactic acid in your blood as you're exercising. And what you want to try to do is you want to be able to hit and find like the 4, the magic number being 4. Let's see if we can stop this right there, like around 4 of this being the quantity while you're training, and stay there and try to get more intense while having that same number and not going over higher.
Yeah, they've been
And
using that a lot more recently in recent years. The Norwegian guy, I think it's Christoph. He coaches 𝗬𝗏 and Christian 𝗬𝗏, and they instead of pay attention to like heart rate and different things like that, or like, hey, these thresholds. They do lactic testing in every session, and they use that as their gauge of where they're at. So people are like, how do they consistently work out at these efforts day in and day out and weekly? And it's because they're literally testing every interval and be like, okay, hold it right there. Hey, hold it right there. And they're just constantly bumping it up. That's why these guys are just the whole sport has just leveled up. I mean, half Ironman and Ironman distance races 10 years ago, if you were a decent swimmer and you were just close to the front of the pack and you had an amazing run and you didn't fall off further off the bike, you could catch up. Now it's a race from the start, which is just absolutely insane. They're racing half Ironman distances like they used to race Olympic distances.
And speed wise?
Yeah, like just from the gun. Like if you're not in that front pack of swimmers, you better have an unbelievably good bike and a crazy run. And they used to say like, oh, you can't win an Ironman in the swim, but you can definitely lose it. And it's no, you need to be a damn good swimmer, and you need to be a damn good biker, and you need to be a damn good runner. There's no flaws anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what to do, dude. Like, I literally am trying to like discover the science on this kind of thing. Like right now, I use heart rate and
It's the
like,
king.
yeah, I use heart rate and I use power instead of like getting on my machines and looking at like, oh, I'm rowing at 145. I do
Yeah,
watts. So I do everything on watts and I
yeah,
do everything on pace versus heart rate. And I'm just trying to find things. And then what I do is like, here's my access of heart rates, and then there's power this way, heart rate this way, and then underneath
yeah,
it there's another line which I have, which is weights, where everything's balanced on. And now all of a sudden,
yeah,
if you look at it, it's all on this scale right here. And if you get lighter, it kind of tips and gets more in your favor as you get
yeah.
lighter. Because if you can produce more power, similar power at the same heart rate, but at lighter work, you're doing
Oh
better.
yeah,
Or if you produce
oh
more
yeah,
power at the same heart rate and you're heavier, it's whatever. But for
yeah.
me,
It's all power to weight ratio.
yeah, dude. So I gotta fix this fucking shoulder. I basically, there's a slight chance in hell that I'm gonna pull out of doing the German race if I don't feel good about this thing, because I'm only really going to run a sub 52.
Yeah.
That's be the
Well, there's no
case.
sense in delaying your recovery if doing that race is just going to set you back. It makes no sense.
Yeah. So are you gonna compete in uh
Houston?
Houston this weekend?
No, next the 16th. So Amani and I go out at 8:40 for our mixed doubles, and then right after that, like literally, I would probably finish with her and then go right to the start line if I did the men's.
Huh. Huh.
So I thought about doing it, and another thing that I'm doing that weekend is I'm not tapering at all. Like Friday, I'm still doing my threshold bike sets that I have for Ironman. So I'm
Yeah.
not tapering at all going into High Rocks weekend, which
How far are
is
you out from your Ironman?
Galveston, which is Ironman 70.3 Texas, is April 7th, and then the full in the Woodlands is the 27th. So not far.
You got 8 weeks.
Yeah, like 8, 7 weeks, something like that.
What's your time? What's your guess?
I don't know because I'm not targeting Woodlands. Last year when I did Galveston, the 70.3, I showed up and before the race started, my body just started dumping fluid, which I've never really had that happen before where I'm just dehydrating. Like my body's just becoming dehydrated before we even start the race. I don't know what was going on that morning, but an hour before the race, we're getting ready, and I was like, man, I gotta pee again. I gotta pee again. I started counting. I peed like 9 times before the start in an hour. My body just started flushing out. So as we're on the docks, I was like, dude, I am so thirsty. Like my mouth was already just drying up. And then I got on the bike and I was like, okay, I feel okay. I feel all right. And then I just had bubble gut the whole race. I couldn't hold anything down. So I basically did the whole second half of that race without being able to take on any fuel, hardly any fluid. So I did the whole thing essentially dehydrated. And it was the worst recovery I've ever had of anything.
Damn, dude.
So I'm going after Galveston. Usually what we'll do is because I have some people that I'm coaching that are doing Galveston and the Woodlands, and then they call it the Texas two-step because it's within the same month. But we'll use Galveston as a kind of a warm-up, like just a big long training day. Keep it easy. You're not trying to go out there and actually race Galveston, and then just taper for the 20 days until the Woodlands, and you're good to go. You just use the race as a big workout that day, and then get ready for the Woodlands. But I'm going after Galveston.
Well, I want to
So
know.
we'll
You
see
got to
what
stop
happens.
labeling all this damn hippie shit about how you don't feel good. I want some serious numbers. I'm gonna go get a
I don't
pen. I'll
know.
be
No,
right
I
back.
know.
No,
I
you're gonna have
literally
to
don't
think about
know.
something by the time I get back. I'm gonna put this on my wall.
All right. I don't know how everybody's doing today. What's up, Hoyer? Woodlands 2025. Yeah, baby.
Oh. Okay.
Yes,
I'm putting
I'm
this up
modding
on my
it.
wall.
All right.
What's your time?
Man, dude, I really don't know because I'm
Why
gonna
don't you
crush myself in Galveston.
Why don't you shut your pipe, dude? Why don't you go easy in Galveston and go get yourself a decent Ironman time? Because no one's gonna ask what your half Ironman time is. They want to know what your Ironman time is.
Yeah, but see, this race, I have vengeance with Galveston after last year, so that's why I'm going after Galveston.
So
And
what?
then I'm just
What's
gonna
your
try to.
Ironman time?
I would, oh, man, I would like to do a 3:30 marathon in the Woodlands.
What's your overall Ironman time? What is with you?
Oh, let's see. I would like to go 11 hours.
11 hours flat?
Yeah, somewhere around 11ish.
11 hours.
We'll see.
Well, we would like to support you. We'd like to support you, but you have to be direct with your goals.
11
I've told.
hours. Let's just throw it out there. We'll fuck it. Say 11 hours.
Listen, dude. It's
After
the same way
destroying
I am
myself
about.
in Galveston.
It's the same way I am about my racing. Like I've told
I'll put
everybody,
it
I
out
want
there.
52. Otherwise, I'm not going to race. Like I
Yeah.
have to hit 52. So that's important.
All right. So
Where
I
is
would
the
like
race?
to.
Is it by Parker? Are you coming to Houston High Rocks to hang out? That's Caleb Yates.
Yeah, I'm doing mixed doubles with the goat. I call Amani the goat.
I
She's a
want to know
shit.
from this. I want to know from this Kevin guy. He goes on track club. I guess he's in a track club who has a lot and does lactate testing. So Kevin, in your track club, what are these guys doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, none of my coaches ever try to get me with any of this kind of stuff. Like, Rich Diaz wants me to work on my running form and work on my heart rate. Jacques wants me to work on my power. That's it. He's like, power, 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 sustainable power, power. None of these guys want me to do this stuff. And then all of a sudden, you look at these guys that are at track and field, Ironman, you look at Tour de France, like, they're all doing blood work. Like, why aren't we doing it? Because it's not like for lack of resources. Like if I knew that doing the blood work was necessary, I would invest the money. I would, because I want to win.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
But no one's asking me to do it. Not one coach has ever approached me and been like, we need to work on this. Nobody. And CrossFit, like that's another thing. Why do none of the CrossFit athletes, like CrossFit, I know a lot of CrossFit athletes that are making over $1 million a year. None of them doing this stuff. So it's like there's no lack of money. There's no lack of dedication.
Wonder if it's because, oh man, I don't know. Wonder if because CrossFit's so random and it's just a pure, like, every time they hit a WOD, their lactate's through the roof.
Yeah, but the body's metabolic responses is
true.
not random. It's like, you can calculate it. It's like, hey, you do X, you're going to be here. You're going to use this fuel system. You're going to have this power output. You're going to do it for this long.
And your race, the High Rocks, it's standardized. So you know exactly your efforts. You know how your body responds to each station, how it responds in each 1K. And you have a plethora of experience with races and training that I don't know why aren't you doing it?
Me?
Yeah, I'm like, just do it. Who gives a shit? Be the first one.
I don't have any coaching behind it. Like, I don't really know how to properly do it. Like,
There's
I
got
could
to be
buy a
guys.
book. I could
Yeah,
buy books and do the research. Dude,
there's got to be a doctor in LA that's somebody that does it.
it's interesting, dude. Like, you'd think with the amount of very high level athletes and sports and stuff that I have out here that literally I would have these kind of resources, and I just don't. Like, I was offering to pay people money to come run with me. There's
Yeah,
not a
nobody showed
really
up, right?
there's not a big endurance community. But like,
Huh.
here, dude, check this out. So last night, at literally 8:30 at night, I was
Yeah, wonder if we can get 𝗕𝗟𝗗𝗕𝗏 on board to do it.
I don't even know who that is. But
Oh shit, really?
last
I feel
night,
like you would
dude,
love 𝗕𝗟𝗗𝗏.
we were inside of my buddy's chamber at 20,000 feet in the sky
Sick.
doing like pressure interval drops. We
That's
were
dope.
and like that's the kind of
Is that one
resource
of
that I
the
have.
inflatable ones?
No, dude, this is like a fucking crazy ass chamber that we work out in sometimes. Dude, I crashed my bike and immediately, let's see here. I crashed my bike and within a couple hours I'm on where the fuck is it? I'm on this machine and I've got like electrodes going into my shoulder. I'm on a red light table that's twice the size of my body. Like, I have resources that are off
Yeah,
the charts. Like, I was over at someone's house the other day and they literally had a hyperbaric chamber in their living room. Just a
that's
fucking
so
normal ass
badass.
dude, not a pro athlete, nothing. So like, there's all of these crazy
They're amazing,
resources,
dude.
but I don't have I
Dude,
don't
if I
have
can
the
afford to put a hyperbaric chamber, they have the inflatable ones. Have you seen them?
yeah.
I'd throw one here. I'd sleep in that thing.
Dude, it's tough. I mean, you have to really get used to that kind of stuff. Like, we've tried altitude tents and it will fuck you up. Let's see here. Bar Talk Girls coming in with random nonsense again. We did it to individualize training so people know endurance racers what their heart rate at blah blah blah, pure lactic acid. It's your ability to recover. You actually did that testing, or who is the royal we here, girls? And Paul Clark, yes, I am talking about lactate testing. Or know where your specific training level is to lean towards recovery and proper training. So why, like, I mean, if you've had your VO2 max tested a bunch of times, like, I'll share the screen again. So let's get some science out here. Let's do this. Like, I have so many, here, let's see here. Like, I have so many VO2 max scores that I literally know myself with Rich Diaz for the past like 10 years plus. All right, we're going to watch this. Present, share screen, entire screen. Boom, boom. You guys ready for the science coming your way?
Yep.
Boom. Like, I have data points like this. Oh, it's so fucking blurry. I'm sorry, guys. This looks like shit.
That's all right. You can still explain it.
But I know myself like through testing and Rich Diaz for literally the past shit. I started working with Rich in 2014. We know at every single cross section what my body's going to do at every single heart rate. Like, why is that blood lactate level more important than what we've done with Rich? I don't know. So are we missing out? Could we be faster?
I don't know. I guess Rich would say, for what you're doing, just listening to him so many times, he'd be like, "You don't need it."
Yeah, so is Rich wrong?
No,
Like, as you think
no, no,
about
no,
this,
no, 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 no. He's
you
not
think
wrong. I
about
mean,
this
he's not
Ingebrigtsen
wrong.
guy that this guy Kevin's talking about. Ingebrigtsen's like throwing out these crazy scores. Now, is Ingebrigtsen a better athlete than me? Probably in a lot of potentials. I don't know. And
What,
is there
as far as
science?
VO2 max?
Oh, dude, I guarantee his VO2 max. It's actually usually not as high as you could possibly be, but I bet you it's in the high 70s and 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, but how long can he hold that VO2 max though? That's the thing.
I don't know.
Right? Like you could be really good at getting a really amazing VO2 max, but be like, hey, but I can't hold my VO2 max for X amount of time. And that's what we were talking about with Rich, what, the week before last?
Yeah.
And I think the reason why a lot of these guys do lactate threshold testing during their sessions is because their races are so damn long. They're trying to see how much they can raise their ceiling in order to hold that effort for a very long time.
Well, let's get some more data down about you. What's your swim going to be on the Ironman? I need some data. Quit beating around the bush. Just give me numbers.
Well, I don't know.
Quit being a bitch, dude.
I would love to do an hour to an hour and 5 minutes on the swim.
Okay, so here we go. God, you're so finicky about these answers. Okay, what's your bike going to be?
Let's say sub 5 hours.
Sub 5. That's fucking crazy.
I would love to go somewhere between 450 and 5 hours. That'd be fucking epic.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Okay, what's your run going to be? 330?
Yeah, that's an 801 mile, so that would be awesome. This is like if I have a really amazing day. So,
well, dude, just adding this up, dude, that's a 945.
Okay, so let's say 530. 530 on the bike.
I did, I think 530, 525.
Yeah. I'm thinking about my all-time goal, really. My all-time goal would be to do a sub 10-hour Ironman. I just don't know if I have the ability.
I think I could have gone sub 10 if I didn't do
I don't think my bike helped you either, because when I sent you my bike to do Arizona, that setup is for short races.
Yeah. I was way worse off though. On your bike was better than the bike that I had for what the fuck is it called? Copenhagen.
Okay, but a 5 hour bike is 22.3 miles per hour.
I think I did 530.
Okay.
So 22.3 is a 5 hour bike.
Yeah.
If you have a good course, which I'm assuming Texas is going to be, just nice road in Texas.
No, they changed it. They used to do it through all the back roads in the woodlands, and it was just rolling hills. It was a beautiful course. And then they started putting it on the God, what's it called? It's the Hardy Toll Road. And you do multiple laps. Which I don't like that, because then you get caught up in the big crowd just circling, and then you just feel like you're on a circus.
Dude, that Arizona course was the worst thing I've ever biked on in my entire life. It was such shitty roads. Such shitty roads. I just assumed that like the red states, like the Republican states, they take care of the roads and they take care of their people. Democratic states, they just take like tax and shit and throw it down. They took all the trash from their disgusting cities and just put it in all over the place, and they just fuck up everyone's lives.
You know what race was an awesome race to start the year every year? This was years ago. South Beach used to have a race in April, and it was usually the first weekend in April, and it was the South Beach track. It was the Olympic, and then they had a classic. I used to do it, and dude, that was such a fun race.
Crossing the bridges and shit.
Oh yeah, dude, it was epic.
Yeah, dude, don't hate me. I gotta go pee again. Sorry.
No, do it.
No, sorry, guys. Drinking too much builder.
Yeah, I just finished mine. Let's see, what do we got over here? Best advice for transitions during triathlon: practice them. I know that sounds funny, but practicing your transitions, and this is where brick sessions are big, or multi-brick sessions. Learning how to go from your bike calmly and efficiently with some speed, and just getting your shit together. Have it laid out. This is one of the things I do when I'm coaching triathletes. It's super important to practice your transition, consistently practice your setup, answering a question for transition practice and stuff like that. And this is another reason why, like, you know, if I have people that just constantly want to do half Ironman or Ironman distance, I tell them all the time, Find local sprint races. Sprint races are a great way to just get out there, have a good training day. You're not going to interrupt your training because that race is so much shorter than even most of your training days on the weekends for half Ironman and Ironman distance. And you really get to dial in your transition. Go out there, set up a day, you do your bike, and mimic your setup for that bike to run or that swim to bike, how you want everything laid out. Become efficient at it. It helps a ton. You build that memory into the system where you're learning how you want everything set up. So it's just clean and it's easy. And I think what happens to a lot of people is they try to go way too fast and they mess up and it causes more problems and they're trying to fix shit while they're on the run. Just take a few extra seconds, calmly put everything on, and then out the gate.
Yeah, dude, and eat. Yeah. Like, you got to take the time to just eat. Like, if you're eating, like, the one thing I've just practiced, like, if you can get used to eating food as you're going, you're going to be so much happier about the whole experience. Like, you guys really need to eat. Like, I'm about to go do my intervals right now in the gym, and I might even have a banana. I don't know. But, like, the more fuel you have in your body, the more likely you're going to get to the finish line and actually feel good. And the electrolytes are such a huge difference. Like, I was double hitting. Every single water bottle had to have 2 scoops of hydro in it. It was a game changer. And I was still having more stuff on top of it. You're eating, like, chips and pretzels and everything like that. Like, dude, it's a game changer. I love how this guy just said that he bought Builder for his friends as a wedding present. That's dope.
Hell yeah. Yeah. For example, this past Saturday. So I do thresholds on Mondays and Fridays on the bike. And then Saturday we go out for long ride and then about an hour run. Friday, I was probably let's see. I had 40 grams of carbs per bottle plus bars because I do a mix. In a full distance, I do a mix of solids and liquid carbs. I was around about 100 to 110 grams of carbs per hour on the bike.
110 grams of carbs an hour?
Yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah, I mean, like, think about that, guys. So let you know, each banana is about 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates. So that's about 3 bananas an hour. And, you know, if you're burning that VO2 max sheet that I sent you guys earlier, the way I like to do this for people is, like, here's my metric. If I'm going moderate pace, I'm burning about, like, just above walking pace, I'm burning about 10 calories per minute. 60 minutes, 600 calories. If I'm doing, like, runs, I'm, like, actually out there running, I am doing now 20 calories a minute. It's about 1,200 calories an hour. And if I'm going max out, VO2 max, as much as my body can hold for 1 hour, that is 1,800 calories an hour. Now, most people can't sustain that, but if you even think about that, if you have 4 bananas at 30 grams of carbohydrates, that's right there, 120 calories per banana. You're looking at potentially 480 calories an hour. Your body is going to burn that out.
Yeah. Mine is on easy, light work, zone 2 stuff. I consume about 40, 50 grams of carbs per hour just because I don't need as much. And it's still a deficit for what my body actually uses.
Yeah.
And then when I'm pushing thresholds and I calculate, okay, I've only got an hour in this first bike and I've got 20 minutes or 40 minutes of threshold work, that first hour, I will bump up the calories. I'll put in 80 to 100 grams of carbs. And then if it's just easy after that, then I'll lower it down. But if I'm doing a run off the bike, I keep the carbs up the whole time.
Yeah, you got to. That's what I mean. Like, dude, our Ultimate Engine program, what I have for the most recent workout, Ultimate Engine, the most recent one, where's the 3.0? There we go. The last workout I have for you guys on Saturday is, hold on, boys, hold on. And I put this in the notes. I don't think there's a lot of programs out there that put this in the notes. That's why I think House is the fucking best. But at day 6, It's a brick workout. 60-minute bike, hold 60 to 70% level. 60 to 70% level. Pump up your fluids and carbs during this part of the workout. And then P2 is a 45-minute run held at 70 to 80%. And it says right here, this is more intensity than you push on these longer runs. You need to fuel to get this done. Make sure that you're eating and hydrating on the bike. Bring gels on the run and eat every 20 minutes. Finish off with a 100-meter walking lunge into 100 wall balls. And I just like tell people, like a lot of companies are just like, hey, do this workout, feel the pain.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, we've got.
yeah.
Go ahead. I
I'm
was gonna
just saying,
say
like,
we
I
have
gotta
one client that literally, remember, I won't say his name just because if we don't
talk
know if
shit on
we,
that bitch.
yeah, but
No.
he was failing. He was like, man, I just don't have the gas at the end of some of these sessions. And I literally had a conversation with him about fueling his pre-workout. He gave me his whole daily, like what he was eating, his pre-workout during his intra, and then his post. And I'm like, no, bro, we need to up this. And literally the next week, just from fueling difference, he was like, holy shit, I was actually able to hold those paces. I was actually able to hold those paces through the end of the session. And it's simply just giving your body the fuel that it needs. You can't send a race car out onto the track with no fuel in it.
Yeah. So just to give you guys a heads up, I'm going right now. We got the training guys coming in, showing up here in 15 minutes. I'm going to start warming up and I'm going to eat a banana. Then I'm doing 4 by 8 minutes on the bike at high watts because I pulled my shoulder. This should be a run time. And it's 4 minutes down between. So it's 4 times 12 basically per interval. So we're at 48 minutes. Whole workout's going to be about 90 minutes in total. I will have all those bananas. I have to. And
Yeah,
like,
there's no
not
way to get
only is
around
it
it.
important about getting fuel in your system at the time, but also getting fuel in your system, getting ready for the next workout of the day. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Guys, I got to pull out of here in 2 seconds. Cole Schwartz just got on. I've got some questions I got to ask him, guys. First of all, Cole, what the hell happened to you at the Go Ruck division? I didn't see you anywhere in the results. And yes, we are biking next Saturday. Not this one. It's my birthday this Saturday. I turned 35, guys.
Oh shit.
We're going to go next Saturday because I want my shoulder to recover a little bit. But basically, we're going to bike from Malibu all the way to Crestline on the 16th. If anybody wants to join, I mean, you have to be a fucking
Damn.
cyclist to do this because it's like 120 to 130 miles. But, you know, it's totally worth it. So Cole,
Don't get behind on fluids or food during that ride. That's a long ride.
yeah, we got to put carb. Anything you guys need before we get up out of here? Nothing? You good, Parker?
I'm pretty good. Oh,
Alex.
hold on. We got to give a huge congratulations to a lot of our academy athletes from DC.
Just all right, you hold on 2 seconds. If I shut this thing down, I just want sorry guys to screw up the show. If I just end stream up here, it will save everything. Okay. All right, I'll end it like that way. Bye guys. Yeah, dude. I'll let you list everybody out, but I totally forgot about this. We had it in the show notes. Parker, take it away.
Okay, so I won't go through all the names, but for one, Charles, he improved 13
You're talking
minutes.
about Cannon, dude.
No, Cannon also. Charles improved 13 minutes, took third in his age group and 8th overall.
There's no way they improved 13 minutes because they ran doubles. There's no way that they improved that time by 13
That's
minutes.
what he texted me.
What the fuck?
Third in his age group, 8th overall. Sent me screenshots of the results and a video of his awards.
I'm going to have to text that bitch ass.
Yeah, absolutely crushed it. See, one of the things that we do, and I make sure that all of these athletes have, besides just like, oh, here's your taper week, are notes in their training peaks telling them on Thursday about carbing up, race warm-ups, breakfast, how to get ready for the race. And I think all of that and the consistency in everybody's training, it really is, you got to take the pie chart and put everything into that algorithm. And I think a lot of people just skip a lot of that. And this is why they're like, man, I'm inconsistent. And then, I mean, all of these people have been training with us the new programming for 8 weeks, and we just had a huge jump. Everybody just went out and absolutely destroyed.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm very proud of Charles and Trey. I didn't know that they had that progress, but I want to give the biggest shout out to Cannon, because Cannon came with me and he had a good result,
crushed.
and then he had a bad result, and I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. I don't feel good about that. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, just trust the process. I promise we'll figure this out. And then a 13 fucking minute PR, and I was like, yeah, bitch, that's what I fucking like. And to me, dude, you guys got to understand it's like this, especially when you first get started in a sport. Like, I'm finally at the
Yeah.
point in my career where it's like this, but you guys got to understand, especially when you're new at this shit, you got to take some risks, you got to do some learning, all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm pumped. Parker, big shout out to you for helping put that together. Cole is no longer part of house training, so that's why Cole didn't do so well this weekend. Ain't that right, Cole?
Hey man, we'll be happy to open up a spot for you if you want to get off the bitch seat and come back.
Dude, we have a pro team where we take on certain pros and we allow them to kind of get a little bit of a polishing. And we're going to have this Friday show is going to be a pretty big duke out. We've got somebody who's coming on the show who's a pretty high level athlete. Some of it's going to be good. Some of it's going to be bad. All of it's going to be entertaining. Parker, you and I have to talk some, but guys, I want to say thank you everyone for showing up. We miss Ryan so much.
Yeah.
He is a sweet little turtle dove, and he's moved on to a better life without us. But yeah, guys, train hard this week. Make sure if you're part of house training, I want to see you guys more in the Facebook group. I try to give updates and conversations, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that, like, that's our communication board. Parker and I talk regularly, but I just like to have everybody in one spot because these cell phones are getting way fucking out of hand. There's too many messages from too many different people. But guys, this is another amazing podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, everyone put this down. Parker says he's going to do 11 hours, a 1 hour and 5 swim, 450 to 5 hour bike. We're gonna boost that up
That's
to a
what I'm
530
aiming.
bike.
Okay. All right.
And then he's gonna do a 330 run. So everybody put that down there. And this is happening the end of April. April 7th is his half Ironman, but we're really pushing
April
for him to have
27th.
a solid 11-hour Ironman. So guys, please put this in your notes. We're not letting him fucking get lazy on this thing. Yeah. We are.
Dude, I'm gonna be pounding so much Infinite and Builder that day. It's gonna be insane. I might just bring the tub with me on my back and just have a straw hooked right into it.
Caleb, when he competed at the Hybricon games and he took second, was taking Strength X2 multiple scoops a day just to keep that pump up, because we were doing so many intense events. He fucking wrecked it. He set the record on the tire flip and everything. You guys have to understand. So, like, just because it's like one scoop, if you're doing more intense events, it's usually one scoop per hour of training. So like a 10-hour Ironman, you can have 10 plus of these things full of builder. Like, that's what we designed the thing for.
I do a scoop per hour on just about any session. There are very few sessions where I go to half scoop per hour, and that's usually pretty easy. But even whether I'm smashing it or it's just a zone 2 shit, I'm doing a scoop an hour.
Don't be lazy, team. Get your scoops and get your training in. Parker, I'll see you soon, dude. Thanks for showing up. Guys, hopefully this fucking saves. I'll talk to you soon. Later, brother.
Later, bro.